All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. A double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainan. The title of the video is IRS reportedly confirmed stimulus checks. And basically, the first thought that came to my mind is obviously there's a problem, because the purpose of stimulus checks are what? It says stimulus checks are government payments designed to boost the economy, typically during times of recession or economic hardship. They aim to increase consumer spending and provide financial relief to individuals and families. And pretty much what we have going around the world is right? The cities are troubled. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right. And this is what we're witnessing here in these last days with the upwards of the people taking to the streets, no longer trusting in their governments, right, and even uprising against their governments. Going back to times like the White House raid. These are things that we have seen, and these are things that the prophets, the men of the Lord, have been reported or prophesying about, before it ever happened, before these things actually took place. The men of the Lord were prophesying about these things, and now they're happening in real time. So the prophecies are being fulfilled. Okay, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we're still prophesying about these things because it's only going to get worse from here, right? The end all be all is lamentations, mournings, and woe. Right, destruction, death. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." See, so we're entering into that time now. This is the beginning of sorrows, right? The birth pains, right, of the end. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation." So, a stimulus check is pointing to the fact that these times are, fast approaching. Why would you need to give out stimulus checks if everything was going good in the world, right? And obviously it's not. There's plenty of videos all over the www. With individuals being fired, losing jobs, losing homes. Some people can't afford health care or buy food or anything. A lot of this stuff is happening worldwide. And happening in America now. It says, "Behold, saith Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them." Right, to who? The Israelites. For the Most High Yahweh is repaying back these devils, and they're turning against each other. And this is also prophesied to happen in the last days. World War III. That's what we're getting into. But also the birth pains, sorrows. Let me grab actually. It's like I actually forgot that scripture. Let me look it up on Google. Oh, I know where it's at. It's like it's in Baruch. I don't know if this is the one I was looking for, but this one just came to mind. It goes into what I was talking about. I believe it says, through the Spirit. So Baruch chapter 4, verse 30, it says, "Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons." Right? And pretty much this goes into the nations. They all had a part in our downfall. And pretty much the Lord now is repaying them, because we're at the end. It says, I'll read it again, verse 20. "Behold, said Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, right? So this goes into Jacob's trouble. Because also we have a group of individuals called the two-third, right? Two-third of the Israelites, right? That also had a part in basically, mocking and scoffing the true prophet, the true men of the Lord here in these last days. And it's not only Jacob's trouble, it's the world's trouble, right? Because in order for Esau, Edom to, get Jacob, he got to get the rest of them. Well, he has to pretty much bring trouble to the cities, to the world. I seen, like, look at this. It says ICE agents told U.S. citizens you have no rights. And look at all these people here, right? It's not just our people here. It's everyone. They all outside, So the cities are troubled. It says 22, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. It says the fire is going forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. It says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, said the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Awashai. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. It says, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for Yahweh shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. See, so the plagues are here, right? The beginning of sorrows, like I mentioned. The birth pains, this is what we're witnessing. Right here it says Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, I read a little bit of this, right? So these are the beginning of sorrows, perilous times, right? So jump down a little bit. Matthew 24:15, it says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Right? And it's talking about what? Of course, the sacking of the temple in 70 AD, and ultimately the falling away of the Israelites. It says Matthew 24:16, then let them which be in, but we're using it for now in this time. The scriptures talk about measuring time diligently, and just measuring the time diligently, and understand the times you're living in. The scriptures say walk circumspectly. So we understand what time we're in, and we're in the time of end. And the end brings in death and destruction. Second Ezra 8:50 talk about many being taken up or killed. Because of the pride. It says, Second Ezra 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, right? Miseries, and ultimately death. It says, then let them which be in Judea, Matthew 24:16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. The scriptures say, even be ye as pilgrims in those days, in the times to come. You won't have somewhere to rest or somewhere to be, without, just like we was getting in Second Ezra 15, someone coming in there, your neighbor coming in there trying to take your goods, if you're trying to hide out, that's why you need the Lord. It says, neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. And it just so happened that winter is approaching. It says, for then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. Right? That's going into what? Jacob's trouble, obviously. The time that we're about to enter into is getting crazy. It says, and except those days be shortened, There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Right? For the elect's sake. So anyway, just prophesying what? The end. The end is here. Obviously, they're trying to send checks to you because you're struggling. IRS reportedly confirms stimulus checks for eligible Americans. So I don't know if it's the ones that have no rights over here. It says ICE agents told U.S. citizens you have no rights, so maybe they're not eligible for that. It says millions of Americans may be eligible for stimulus checks by the U.S. Treasury as part of a plan aiming to provide financial relief to low and middle income households, which they're trying to get rid of. Right? They're stopping out the small businesses. They're getting away with the basically the middle class programs, to help people. Trump is getting rid of them. Hey, Trump did a lot. Trump what he did. He's causing a lot of people to be homeless, by cutting off these programs and firing people and things like that. And then now he's getting rid of the homeless people that's on the street. So if you're newly homeless, you're pretty much about to head to a detention center or something. They get chipped up. And that was his plan, obviously to make you homeless, get rid of the middle class. This is all bullshit. This stimulus shit. Hey, this ain't gonna be nothing for you. You get this shit, bro, your rent is probably more than this, most likely. All right. And if you buying groceries, you're gonna spend this $3.90 immediately. That's out of there. All right. So it ain't gonna do nothing. Another thing he did that was interesting, how the cities are troubled. This man militarized the police, and now he has the police in the streets, patrolling. So you see how the plans are being laid and how the cities are troubled. Yeah. So anyway, you can check this out. I don't think it's all it says to me is that there's obviously a problem. Right? Things are not okay. Things are going really bad. Right, and they trying to pretend like they're trying to help or something. So anyway, Lord willing, you were edified from that lesson, comforted, and it makes you want to repent and turn back to the Lord, because obviously you're gonna need some type of help. So shalom to those elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.